Court proceedings are continuing in the trial of a man accused of killing a Toronto police officer. And today, the victim's partner is taking the stand. Let's bring in our Faiza Amin, tracking those developments at the courthouse. Faiza, the latest from you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mel. Yes, and the partner of Jeffrey Northrop taking the stand today. At one point, she testified that he had taken his hands, raised them up, showed his palm. She said he was pleading to the driver of the vehicle that hit and killed him to stop. It's been another difficult day here at court, day 2. I do want to warn our viewers at home that the details I'm about to share are graphic in part. They are what now Sergeant Forbes testified to in court, that some of these details were so difficult. At one point, an individual had to leave the courtroom, and seated just up front is the wife of Constable Jeffrey Northrop. At times, as Lisa Forbes was testifying, she was just hunched over in tears. She was being consoled by those who were around her. And so Lisa Forbes just recently promoted to sergeant. That is her latest rank, but she was the partner of Constable Jeffrey Northrop on that day he was killed back in 2021. And a stabbing investigation, she says, is what brought them to City Hall and to the underground parking garage back on Canada Day there. Forbes testified that she and Northrop approached a vehicle. A man was standing outside the vehicle. She had observed a young female was there too. So was a toddler in a child seat. Both Northrop and Forbes were in plain clothes, and she testified that she had her police badge around her neck, and that they identified themselves to the family, to the driver several times, initially telling the male that they are police and, quote, "Can we talk with you?" The male got into the vehicle and she says she identified herself as police again, holding her badge up multiple times, but there was no acknowledgement. She says Forbes recalls that the vehicle made several moves driving towards them. They yell stop and put their hand out to gesture for the driver to stop. The vehicle then backs up, causing Constable Northrop to stumble and into the laneway. She says he was at the front of the vehicle. That's when he pleaded for the driver to stop. The car accelerates, hits him, and sends him flying backwards. This is where the disturbing details are shared. The vehicle then goes over Constable Northrop. Forbes recalls that he's a large man and that the car gets stuck on him but eventually gets over. Forbes describes his injury, saying he looked like he's fallen off a building. He's badly mangled and his body is twisted. It was even impossible to put him on his back. Constable Northrop was pronounced dead. The accused in this case is Umar Zamir. He pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder in the death of Constable Jeffrey Northrop. So it's important to note that this is Sergeant Lisa Forbes' testimony, and that so far the defense had not had the opportunity to cross-examine her if they wish to do so. But we are hearing that her testimony is expected to last throughout the day today and perhaps into tomorrow too. Mel, we are also being told by the defense that both Umar Zamir and his wife are also expected to take the stand.
And no doubt you will be watching all of that. Faiza, a lot of disturbing details that you are learning. Can you talk a little bit about the trial in general? What is the major focus?
So there are a number of areas where the Crown and the defense don't agree over the accounts of what happened that night. So as you recall, I did explain to you that the officers were in plain clothes, and the Crown spent a considerable amount of time this morning asking Sergeant Forbes about what she was wearing. So she was wearing shorts, she had a t-shirt and some sort of sweater over it, but she was clear on a number of occasions during her testimony that she also was wearing a badge around her neck, and she gestured to show the jury that she had taken her badge, pointing it out front and identifying herself as a police. And she said that she had made multiple attempts, and it was multiple times that she had said that they were police, and that she had voiced that she has shown her badge. And then also she says with a raised voice, as the man was in the vehicle, she gestured, rolled down the window, and this is the gesture that she also made to the jury here, saying that that's what she did, and again using her right fingers to show that the window should be rolled down. This is where the accounts differ here between the Crown and the defense. The defense also says that the officers that night, they were dressed casually, and that at the time, Zamir and his wife did not know that they were police officers. And he said that they didn't, that they were acting or behaving like police officers, that the two officers rushed to the car, they were banging on the car window, so the parents got scared, and they were wondering why two people would be asking them to stop in an empty parking lot. So again, Sergeant Lisa Forbes taking the stand today in this trial. The defense has not had the opportunity to cross-examine just yet.
Faiza, something else that you are learning as part of that testimony, Sergeant Forbes did share a special conversation that she had with Northrop just moments before his death. Can you share that with our viewers?
So I mentioned that during her testimony, Lisa Forbes had mentioned that they were in the underground parking garage as part of an investigation into a stabbing. She had mentioned that she had known Northrop for over a decade at that point. And I'm going to read from my phone if you don't mind. I took notes, and she says that they were talking about how lucky both of them are. It's the summer, it's Canada Day, they're getting paid overtime to be here. She says that they said that we're getting paid to hang out. And she says that they were just talking about how much they love their jobs. And she says, Mel, that this sticks out in her mind because that this was the perfect conversation to have with Constable Northrop. And again, she had great difficulty speaking about that moment, just talking about the relationship she cherished that both of them had with one another.
All right, our Faiza Amin, appreciate that update, and I know you will be continuing to follow this court case and for as long as it takes. Thank you so much for that.